A very good afternoon, all. Just a moment, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Oh, yes, madam, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Just a moment. A very good afternoon, all. A warm welcome from St. Joseph's College, Arts and Science, Kovur, Chennai. St. Joseph's College is a co-educational institution run by Sisters of Diyamai. We offer 13 UG courses and 4 PG courses. On behalf of St. Joseph's Academy, I'm Sushmi Ilyas, Assistant Professor, Department of English. Welcome you all for this one-week faculty development program on research methodology and pedagogy of writing research papers. The main objective of this program is to enrich the research thrust among faculty fraternities. So, it's my pleasure to invite today's resource person, Dr. C. Larison, Professor and Head, Department of Mechatronics, Engineering, CIT College, Chennai. I welcome our Administrator, Reverend Sister A. Malarjodi, and our eminent Principal, Dr. R. Rupin, for this FTP. Also, I welcome the teaching fraternities, professors, research scholar for this program. I hope you all will enhance your research ideas through this FTP. So once again, I welcome you all for the day 4 FTP. Let us start the session with the prayer. I invite Sister Rexlin from the Department of Mathematics to join for the prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here today for this faculty development program. We pray that you send your Holy Spirit to guide us in this undertaking. Your divine guidance help us decide correctly on vital things. Allow us to act according to the benefit of all concerned. May the agenda of this FTP be discussed fully and consciously. Let all people concerned and contribute wisely to come up with a solution according to your will. For all these academic activities would only possible with your permission. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Sister. With the blessings and wishes from our eminent principal, Dr. R. Rupin, and our enthusiastic administrator, Reverend Sister A. Melachudi, let us proceed with the session. I invite Mrs. I. Praveena, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Commerce, to welcome our Day 4 resource person, Dr. C. Larison, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for the invite. Good afternoon, one and all who present here. I feel immense pleasure in introducing the resource person for Day 4 FTP, Dr. C. Larison, Professor and Head of the Department of Mechatronics, Chennai Institute of Technology, Tamil Nadu. He is highly qualified with BE, ME, PhD. His experience in the field of teaching is 20 years. He has presented 10 papers in international conferences and 20 international journals, and 9 of which are Scopus publication. He additionally wrote 2 book chapters. He has organized 7 FTP so far and also been invited as a chairperson once. The citations of his are 220, high index 7, 110, index 5. He also got appreciation letter for best exam cell coordinator of the institution at SMK FIT. One student has completed his PhD under his guideship. I am indeed happy to have such an eminent resource person who accepted our invite to share his knowledge with us on the topic Pedagogy of Writing Research Papers. I once again welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Let us all indulge in today's topic, so you can proceed. Thank you, sir.
Just a minute.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Now it's audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
Yes.
you.
Can you all able to see the my presentation PPT?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let us go to our session. Very good afternoon, all of you. I really thank St. Joseph Arts and Science College management and the authorized persons who have chosen me to be a resource person in your fourth day faculty development program. Specifically, I could say Professor Rajeshwari, who have invited me as a resource person for this wonderful faculty development program. The topic which was given, pedagogy in research writing, for me. Actually, I am very much interested to give a talk on pedagogy in research writing. Of course, it is a inevitable topic for the young researchers. They have to know how to write the research. Of course, we are all doing some projects, undergraduate projects, postgraduate project, PG graduate, PG and PhD, and all are doing projects. And if you do the PhD, you may be asked to publish research papers in a reputed journals. But many of those people do not know how to write the paper. What should be the structure of the paper? So I am very happy to share some of the details which I know how to write the paper. Okay. So research, in my perception, I could tell you that research consists of three components. Okay. This is in my perception telling you. Three components, they are all. One is the input, second one is the system, third one is the output. You take any research, it may be from arts and science, it may be from engineering, it may be any sort of departments. There will be three components are there. Introduction, system, output. Input, system, output. Input, you will set some factors which affect your output. Of course, yes. The system which is used to evaluate, investigate, to identify, to analyze, the system will do it. So, you take any sort of research, there will be input, output. To arrive the output, to get the output, you develop some systems with which you are trying to bring the output. Okay. With that output, you are going to say something to the society, to the people, isn't it? So this is what, before I get into the topic, I would like to share these points. Okay. So why you have to write the research? Why you have to publish the paper, the research paper? Okay. Before that, I want to tell you one thing. Nowadays, many people are doing PhD. Few of them are doing their PhD just to get the degree. Okay. So research, we have to do it as a passion. We should not do it for a degree. That is obviously it is going to come after completion of after fulfilling the required norms and all. But when you do the research, you do it as a passion. You love to do the research. Then only you can able to get into the research in detail. Okay. So why you write the paper? Why you publish the papers? Okay. Of course, writing a paper and getting it published in a reputed journals is of course a hard work. We are ready to do it. That paper has to be publishable one, isn't it? If it is not a quality one, it cannot be published. Even it is published, it is waste, obsolete. Okay. So since it has hard work, why people are doing it? What it motivates them to do the research? What sort of the things are being motivated the people to publish a paper, to write a paper, isn't it? Two things are there. Okay, what is altruism and self-interest? Okay, altruism and self-interest. Two things are there which normally will motivate us to publish a paper, research papers, isn't it? So, what is that altruism? Altruism means nothing but it is a selfless, concerning care on others. Okay, and a self-interest. Okay, so my voice audible? Are you all listening? I
Yes,
hope
sir, your
my voice
voice
audible.
is, yes, sir, your voice is
Okay,
audible.
if anything, yes, anything you want, thank you. Anything you want to clarify when I take the my presentation, you can stop me, you can ask me. Let us discuss. Okay. So two things are there. One is altruism and self-interest. We should keep these two in our conscious. Then only you will get involved in the research. Okay, this type of introduction is very much required before you go for the deep. Okay. Then what is research? Okay, what is research? So it is research is actually, that's what I told initially. Our output must be useful to the society. To be useful for something. That's what it is. It can be said. It is an enhancement of the society, isn't it? By advancing knowledge through the development of scientific theories, concepts, some ideas, isn't it? So nowadays, a lot of technologies are emerging. Namely, we can say the machine learning plays a vital role in all the field. Okay. So even recently, we have been affected by the COVID. That period, the data science was highly used to predict what sort of virus have affected the people. Something like that. Okay. So prediction is very, very important nowadays. Okay. What is going to be happened after 10 years, after 5 years? Something like that. Even if you want to increase or develop your business, so prediction is very, very important. So of course, our engineers, our people who, we develop the concepts, some scientific theories, some concepts, ideas being used to develop their business, to save our society, to predict the future, etc. There are so many examples we can be able to say. Of course, you also might have been experienced these things. Okay, and the research could be in the form of hypothesis. Okay, could be in the form of hypothesis, or could be in the form of collecting the data. It could be in the form of analyzing the results. It could be the forming conclusions, and it could be the implementation of your findings into a real application. That's what into society. Okay, if you take DRDO is there, defense. If you take Navy, aircraft, there are so many research are still going on. So all these research are being applied to the society. Okay, so the research could be forming a new research questions that will get answer for all these things. Okay, some insights are there. Definitely, we are going to see it. Okay. So in other way, you can say research is the process of discovering a new knowledge. Okay, new knowledge. Okay, just by applying some concept, you may get some kind of a new output. So you discover it, you develop it, you only develop it. Okay, if you make a model to predict the one, that is a kind of model you have developed. The model which can be used to predict the business. You can predict you take any examples. Okay, so predictive models. Another way you can say it is a development of the concepts or advancement of the existing knowledge. So already some knowledge is existed, some models, some concepts, some theories, some algorithms already are existed. The way in which you develop the algorithm, the theory, the way you can be able to advance it. can able to get better result than the existed algorithms. Okay, if you so that is called advancement of the existing knowledge, the theories that could be lead the better understanding and which earlier we are not met. Okay, so this is the introduction about the research. So finally, the research can be can be defined. It is a systematic investigation designed to develop or contribute to generalized level knowledge. Okay, systematic investigation could be gathering and analysis of informations. So collecting the data, analyzing the data, investigating the data. Okay, so something like that. That's called investigations. Investigation may be qualitative, quantitative. There are so many things are there. In the coming slide, you may you'll be knowing it. Okay. So therefore, the purpose of research, we can able to say that to understand further the world and also to learn how this knowledge can be applied to better everyday life. It is an integral part of the problem solving. Research never end. It goes whenever human needs there. Research is always there. Okay, we are doing research for our comfortfulness. Okay, for our comfort, isn't it? So, so the main purpose of the research can be, exploratory, descriptory, and explanatory. There are three things we can classify: exploratory, descriptive, explanatory. Purpose of the research. Okay. So in this case, we can enable to. I can able to tell you that exploratory means just trying to understand the problem. Okay, if you take any system or if you take anything, you are trying to understand the problem. For example, behavior of a material. If you take any material, you want to know the behavior of the material. Of course, the behavior of the material depends upon the many factors. Okay, material of the what sort of compositions are there in the material, or what is the microstructure of the material. So many things are there. Just you are trying to know the behavior of material. It's called exploratory. Just but you are not going to give solution for that. You are not going to analyze the result. Okay, why it is behaving like that, something like that. You are not doing it. That is called exploratory. Okay, descriptive. Okay, it means that how it is happening, what happening, why it is happening. That's called a descriptive. Okay, why the material is not performing properly. It is not why this life of the material is being reduced. Why the material easily become fatigue. Something like that. Some concept you can take. So exploratory means just knowing the nature of the problems. A descriptive means how it is happened, what happened, why it is happened. And explanatory means you are going to give the solution for that. So like that, you can divide the research into exploratory, descriptive, explanatory. I hope I understand these three terms. Apart from that, we can able to see that core characteristics that all research. Okay, it could be the empirical, logical, cyclic, and hypothesis based, analytical based, objective, statistical treatment. Okay, just a minute. So, okay. So the empirical, the core characteristics of the research characteristics. Okay. It means that I hope understand the meaning of characteristics means. Okay, it consists or it may be an empirical one or logical one, cyclic or controlled, hypothesis based, analytical, objective, and statistical treatment. So, empirical means it is the method deriving some kind of some methods with which you can able to make a equation, empirical equations. That's called one of the practice of research. Whatever the data you collected, you can make it with help of some method, we can make it as a equation or empirical equation. We can normally say regression equation, something like that. You can say empirical model, development of the empirical models. With that model, you can able to predict the output. Okay, something like that. So logical means your research could be some kind of some sequential procedures may be followed. Sequential procedures. Okay, some sequential logical output. You can even some sequential or logical things you can give as output in research, something like that. Okay, if you I don't want to go in deep, logical example. If you want to make a product, you can go for how to what all the process are there, how to optimize the process planning to make a particular product. There are so many things are there. Okay. Okay, and cyclic. Okay, it begins at end. It begins and end, something like that. It means that whatever the output you get, again you ask questions. Why the output comes? So something like that. It's cyclically. And also we can control means we can able to measure the it is a kind of measuring the output. Some controlled it's called controlled correct of research. Okay. And hypothesis based research. Analytical means we can do. There are so many MCD multiple criterion decision matrix analytical tools are there. All these things can be used. And objective statement. And what is the objective? For that you have to find out the you have to coin the objective. But with that we can your research has to be focused to attain the objectives. Okay, you have to set the objective before you do the research. Then you have to attain the attain the output. What you set the objectives. Okay. Other than that, some kind of statistical treatment are there. There are so many tools are there. So just why I'm telling all this is these things. These are all some of the basics you need to know before you do the research or project. Okay, whatever it is. And types of the research. There are so many things are there. Some like three. That also you can divide into three. That is basic research and applied research and methods of research. Okay. Basic research means it is about just to doing the investigations, but whatever the investigation you have done, that cannot be used to, or that cannot be applied to for any purpose. That's called basic research. Okay, you do the investigation, you do analysis on it, on the problem, but you will not try to implement the output what you got from the basic research. Okay, applied research. Whereas in applied research, whatever you do the investigation analysis, you will aim to
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
may I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is okay. Thank you.
Okay. And methods of research, qualitative research and quantitative research. Qualitative research, I can say example, some case studies. Okay. Example, quantitative, whatever you do, of course, most of the things are quantitative only. Quantitative result you will arrive it. Okay. Quantitative research is very, very important rather than quantitative research. But somewhere, some specific reason, we may have to do some kind of qualitative research. Okay. Quantitative research only will give you a concrete output. Okay. So that we can take the decisions. Okay. Now I am coming to our topic. And why do you need to learn how to write research paper? That initially I told you that introduction, but coming to the point that how to write abstract, how to write introduction, how to review, how to our results, how to write conclusion, how to cite references. So from this, you can know the structure of the research paper, structure of the research paper. Okay. So each and every component, the abstract, introduction, literature, methodology, results, and observations, conclusion, references are all unique. You have to
Sir, sorry for the interruption. Your voice is not clear, sir.
I think there is a disturbance with the microphone. I mean the phone. Yes, sir. It is. Sir, no, sir, it is not clear, sir. No, sir. It's sir, actually, the problem is we can't hear your voice, sir. It There is a disturbance.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Yes, sir. We can't hear you.
The abstract and title both are important. Okay. Based on the title abstract quality, only your paper will be sold out. Selling the paper, namely, you can say. If unless your title abstract is not a attractive one, okay, it's not a catchable one, definitely your paper will not be sold out. It means that in other form we can say selling the papers, okay, based on the quality of the title abstract. So getting someone reading this title and to read the abstract, someone we have to get people to read our research paper. By the way, we have to attract them through the title and abstract. Okay. அதான் சொல்றாங்க. 1 minute, just a minute. கிளியரா இல்லையா? என்னாச்சு? Madam, now it's clear, madam.
Sir, it is, sir. It is, sir. Now it is.
Now it is clear. Now it is clear.
Yeah, and now it is okay, sir.
Now it's.
But there is a disturbance in between when you continue talking, sir.
Hello. Now my voice audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is audible now.
Now it's audible?
Sir, it is audible now.
Sorry, கேக்கல.
Sir,
Ah.
sir, we can hear you, but
Yes, yes. Wait பண்ண.
yeah, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Now it is audible, madam?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
It is clear, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Now it's audible, ma'am?
Sir, you are audible, but your voice is too low, sir.
Okay, okay. இப்போ கேக்குதுங்களா மேடம்? இப்போ
Yes,
கிளியரா
sir.
கேக்கு
Yes,
இப்போ
sir.
கிளியரா
Yes, sir.
I'm very sorry, madam, for the inconvenience. Okay.
No issues, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Some headset issues was there, madam. Sorry. Now let us go to our present. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay. I'm very sorry to all. There was some issues with my headset. Now it is changed. Okay. We were discussing about how to write abstract. So that's what I told you. So our title and abstract should be attractive, and only our paper will be read by other people. It means that selling the papers. Okay. You know. Okay. So, for example, I can say that if you take any scientific paper, okay, more than 99.9% of scientific papers are being published in every year. But all the papers may not be required many peoples. Okay, but few papers, for example, I should not miss. Okay, and those papers are something different for me than other readers. So therefore, the purpose of the title abstract is matchmaking. Matchmaking is an important word. So with this, we can understand that. So unless your title and abstract is not attractive or is not informative, your paper will not be cited by the peoples. Okay, and also your paper will not be attracted by the editor. So title and abstracts are very, very important. Okay, that's what we say, that title and abstracts is a matchmaking. Okay, matching a paper with the right readers. Okay, matching the paper with the right reader. That is very, very important. Okay, so actually, yeah, I'm expecting a paper on some IoT. See, if the IoT is not mentioned in title or something, someone abstract, though the paper is a IoT based paper, I cannot able to get the paper to read, to refer, to cite, something like that. So that's what, so it is a matchmaking. Okay. So the abstract should be very much conscious and should be summary of the paper, but not exactly summary. Okay. Okay, not exactly summary, but it should be a standalone of the summary of the paper. It has to be covered by what is the background of the paper, what is the motivation of the paper and context, and what is the aim, objectives, and problem statement, what are the approach and methods, procedures, and materials you have used in that research, and what are the results you have got, and what is the conclusion or implication you are trying to say from the research papers. So these 5 components must be there in your abstract. Okay, very, very important. But some people may not listen it. They will take it with less weightage. But whenever you write your paper, you should see that your abstract consist of all these 5. Okay. Okay. And abstract can be I told you some of the standalone summary of the paper. Actually, abstract is required to brief your research work to the reader. That should be informative briefly to the reader. Okay. And also, abstract should not contain new informations other than the paper which you have not discussed. The concept which you have not discussed in the paper, you don't put in the abstract. Okay, that is that will give irritation to the editors. Okay, and the benefit of the structured abstract. Now, if abstract is a structured one, it will contain more information, very easy to read, easy to search. It can facilitate to the reviewers. So when you read your paper by reviewers, they can easily review your papers. Okay, and your paper may be attracted or preferred by many readers and authors. So these are advantages. And to take, another thing, I can say that when you finish your abstract, just you see, is all of the information in the abstract consistent with what is written in the body of the paper? Whatever you wrote on the abstract, is it consistently given? Okay, I hope you all know the meaning of consistent. Can all of the information found in the abstract also be found in the body of the paper? That's what I told you earlier. The thing which are not done in the paper, you should not mention the abstract. At the same time, whatever you have discussed in the paper, the important point, that should not be missed in the abstract. So you have to be very careful in the abstract. Is the important information of the paper found in the abstract? That's what I told you. Okay, the important point, the conclusion which you want to, the findings must be there in the abstract. Any keywords from the paper missing from the abstract? Whatever, from below the abstract, you will write some keywords. That keywords must be there in the abstract. So I'm telling you very carefully, please you take into consideration. Whatever the keywords you are writing, that words must be in the abstract. Okay, the keywords should not be different one from your abstract. So come to the titles. So once the abstract is finished, we have to write the title. But in reality, I could tell you that you first finish the paper. body of the paper, introduction, other things. Then write the abstract. Then finally write the titles. That will be best one. Okay. Title should reflect the aim and approach of the work. Okay. Isn't it? So the result and conclusions even can be hinted on the titles. The title itself, whatever you have concluded or the results, that can be put in the title. And the title of the scientific should also describe the aim, work, not the result. Result must not be there. Okay, that in the title, what is the aim of the research paper can be highlighted, but not exactly the result. Okay, so these are all the important points we have to keep in mind. For example, with these three examples, I can tell you. First one, you see impact of temperature and pressure on the compositional uniformity of spouter deposited aluminum alloys. It is nothing but, I could tell you that there is a spouter deposited technique is depositing the aluminum powder on a aluminum plate or whatever any other plates. Okay, plates. They are depositing it. They're coating it. So it means that temperature and pressure is used there. These are all the temperature, pressure, important factor which control the uniformity of deposition over the plate. Okay, of course, yes, isn't it? That's why they have made it the title impact of temperature and pressure on the compositional uniformity of a spouter deposit aluminum alloys. In the other way, we can write down the same topic. Some person write optimization temperature and pressure improves spouter deposit aluminum alloy films. Okay, it is not an appropriate one. Okay, it's not catchable one. Sometimes if you would have used any simulation, any kind of simulation means that we have some analysis, then title could be impact of temperature and pressure on the stimulated compositional uniformity of spouter deposit aluminum alloy. Sometimes people, they may use simulation, but that will not bring in the titles. There are so many general than most to the specific. Actually, what is the field of the work? What is it? Why is the field important? What already has been done? So I don't know the domain of the research work, what you have chosen. For that, we have to write down the introduction. What is the field of the work? What is the important one? What has been done already? So these three must be there in our introductions. Okay, it should be suitable to identify the gap of your research gap of your work. Okay, the gap means what is the gap? What already people have done and what they have not done, what is missing, something like that you can narrate in the introductions. Okay, and can okay, it is to give brief background of relevant theory and the practice of your topic. Because if you are, so just for example, I tell you, you are going to use some kind of one some type of analysis. Why you are chosen related to that analysis? How many people have already done? You have decided to do one. You have chosen one analysis which you want to carry out in your research work. Okay, why you are chosen? Related to the analysis which you have chosen, what previous researchers have done, and some justification must be there in the introduction. This is what I want to convey you. The same way, whatever the artificial intelligence you have chosen to analyze your work means why you have chosen artificial intelligence. So what is the importance of the artificial intelligence? What is the accuracy of the artificial intelligence? What are the benefits? And something like that you can narrate in the introductions. You can cite some reference papers. Okay. You can ask 4 questions about introduction. What is the present state of the knowledge? How the studies related to one being proposed? What is the quality of the studies reviewed? How will the proposed study contribute to the existing literature? These 4 questions you yourself can ask after completion of your introduction of your research paper. Okay. Madam, excuse me,
Yes.
madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Madam, actually, can you give me 15 minutes, some more 15 minutes? 3:15 shall I complete?
3:15, sir. Yes, sir.
or else I will go
Okay,
fast.
sir.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you can, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
stop my presentation at 3:15. Is it okay
Oh,
for you?
okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
sir.
Okay, so then finally, your introduction should demonstrate the hour of research methods that you have used in your research. Okay, what the research method you are going to, say research method you have used in your paper, that should be the hour of the research method which you are used in a research paper should be demonstrated in the introduction. The other point, you have to justify the research method and approach you have taken of your study. You have to explain and justify the method of data collection and analysis. Okay, so all these things, definitely whatever you are going to do, method of the analysis, some modeling tools, some optimization tools, whatever the thing you are going to use in a paper, definitely our previous researchers might have used. Why they have used? Okay, something like that you have to see in the introductions. You have to strongly justify in the introduction all these things. Some reviewers will read only introductions. They will not read all the papers. Some reviewer will read only abstract. Okay, some reviewer will read only conclusions. Then they will decide we can accept or not, we can reject the paper. So we don't know what type of reviewer our paper is going for. Um, going to review. Okay. So we have to concentrate on all the components of the research paper. Method. Okay. Sometimes you can call it as a materials and method sections. So method which is used to broadly explain the experimental things which you have used. Okay. How we are going to develop the theory. One thing I want to very clearly tell you that in this materials and method, you have to write down your work only. Others' work should not be there. What if you can write down other works in the introduction only? Method and materials that you have to write down your work. It means that what type of materials you have chosen, what type of method you have chosen, what type of analytical tools you have chosen, that how you have conducted the experiment, that only you must be there in the materials methods. Some paper I have seen, they are bringing others' work also in this under this title. That irritates the reviewers. Okay, definitely they will reject. You have to be very conscious in this materials and methods. Okay, okay, that's what I made a point in the fourth point. The good method section should not only describe what was done, how it was done, but it should justify experimental design as well. Okay. But experimental design you can justify why you are used that experimental design, but others you should not put here. Okay. Okay. Then to summarize, what conclusion I have reached in literature review. So far we have discussed the method and literature review. Very important that we have to summarize what conclusion have been taken, have been obtained or reached in the literature review. Okay, whether okay, about your domain. Okay, you have to highlight the main issues and controversies around the problems based on the research only, literature only. Okay, you have to evaluate the state of our communal knowledge on topic before embarking on quest of adding to the knowledge. Mean that you have to see that you have to evaluate the state of our communal knowledge. Means that knowledge means the society, how it is going to be used in the society. Then only we have to embark. We have to identify. You can choose to add the knowledge. Okay, what I mean to say that what are the literature you have seen that is how far it is useful to communal knowledge. Okay, that you have to see. There are so many papers are there, but all the papers you cannot refer. Some quality papers only you have to refer. You have to consider it as a literature. Okay. That's what I made it very clearly. The last point. Note that literature research is not about finding relevant papers. It is about reading relevant papers. You have to read relevant papers. That's what it is very clearly I told in the last point. Don't judge relevant paper. You read the relevant papers. Okay. I hope I understand the meaning. Do literature before you do the research, before write the paper. Okay. 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 The next one, the last point, look in fields outside your discipline. It means that what the other discipline, other interdisciplinary things have done related to your domain, your work. That also you have to see. Okay. That's what unconventional techniques you can able to see when you do a research with the interdisciplinary manner. Your research would be very would be definitely good. Nowadays, this is what everybody is expecting. Interdisciplinary research work. Max people can develop a optimization model prediction for engineering problems. Okay, that is interdisciplinary, I can say. Okay, for a mechanical people, we can make use of any other machine learning algorithm to find out some optimization, some prediction, something like that, etc. If you do like that, it is interdisciplinary. Okay. And the last point, I'll tell you that in this, we look at the recent research publications. Don't refer an old one. Okay. The standard structure of the scientific paper is some insight I would like to tell you here. IMRAD. It was named in the 17th century that I stands for introduction, M stands for methods, R stands for results, and D stands for discussions. Okay. The content of the paper must match the scope of the journals. Okay. The quality of the paper must be sufficiently high. The method and execution of the research, as well as writing, all the quality must be there. It must present novelty. Result must be significant and should be worth reading. Okay, that must be there. Okay, and also in a research paper, you have to bring a lot of tables and figures. Okay, the data can be bring into the tables, and the figures is required to discuss the interaction effect among the factors on the response, on the output. So instead of narrating your paper completely theoretical, you have to include some lot of tables and figures. Okay, there are so many graphs are available. Method of drafting graphs are available. You have to attract the reviewers. Okay, by the way of telling you about papers. Okay, presenting your outputs by the way of figures. Okay, instead of telling by way of theory, if you tell the things through your figure diagram, that will be more attractive. You can easily the reviewer can able to see the output. Okay, rather than reading the theory. Okay, so we have to clearly designate the results that are new. Okay, while properly citing the results that have been published, that have been previously published. Results must be new. That should not be found out from previous researchers. Okay, you have to be very conscious. Okay, some pitfalls in the result and discussion, then drawbacks. Lack of organization, presenting results that are never discussed. You might have not discussed in the body of the paper, but you will bring in the result and discussions. Something like that. Presenting discussion that does not relate to any of the results. And presenting result and discussion in chronological order rather than logical order. Chronological order means you might have set some thing want to tell in the paper. That's called chronological order. But logically it may be wrong. So in result and discussion, you have to discuss only in the logical only, rather than chronological. Okay. That's what to present the findings of research in an orderly manner using heading planned methodology or heading arising from pattern found. It means that in the research paper there are so many matters you might have done in your experiment, but you have to categorize it. You put subheadings in your result and discussion. Don't mix all the factors or discussion. Don't confuse the things. You categorize the things, then put subheading that you discuss separately. Okay, that's what I want to tell you here. Conclusion section provides a brief summary of the result and discussions. Again, I tell you, but it should be consciously provide a key messages the author wish to convey. Okay, it should not repeat the arguments made in the result and discussion. So whatever the thing you are discussed in the result and discussion, that again the same paper I have seen, whatever discussed in the result and discussion, people used to copy and they will paste it the conclusion. That should not be there. Should not repeat the arguments made in the result and discussions. Okay, that should be a generally short one. Okay. The second goal of the conclusion is to provide a future perspective on the work. Future perspective on the work. Okay. Okay. Can you hear my voice? I'm audible? Clear?
Yes, sir. You are, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Next, what are some of the pitfalls when writing the conclusions? Some pitfalls means some mistakes we commit that we can avoid. Repeating the abstract, repeating the background information from the introductions, introducing new evidence, new arguments, which doesn't have connectivity with your paper, and repeating the arguments made in the result and discussions, failing to address all the research questions set out in the introductions. So whatever the research thing you set out in the introductions, for all those things, you should have answer in the conclusions. In students' project also, I will tell you, we write objective. Okay. In the conclusion, in your project book, project also you can take, UG, PG, project also you take. Whatever the objective you set, you have to answer for all the objective in the conclusions. The evaluator will see objective, then again they will see the conclusions. Whether the student has answered for the objective one, answer for the objective one, answer for the objective two, like that. Whatever the number of objective you are set, you have to answer. If you fail to do, so it is unorganized project, unorganized research paper. Okay. The same way I tell you that in introduction you will tell in the last para, from the literature survey, it is found that the adequate research was done on so and so domain what you have chosen. Therefore, we have taken an attempt to analyze the impact of the process parameters on X and Y, Z, something like that. You finish it. The introduction last para. In the introduction last para only, we are going to conclude based on the literature. I have found the research gap. Therefore, I am going to do this work. Okay, something like that you will say. Okay, whatever you said in the last para, the introduction, you have to answer in the conclusions. Definitely, they will see the reviewers. Okay, easily they will find out whether are you the paper is well organized or not organized. Okay, okay. Just within the 10-15 minutes, 10 minutes I will complete. Quickly I will go. Language is very, very important. Nowadays, many people, we struggle in language. Language is really important because our paper is going to be read worldwide. Okay. Whatever the English language we used, that should be understandable. That should be easily, our research has to be conveyed. So all many things are there. So you have to do English check, English grammar check. You have to use good vocabularies. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, so that's what Matthew Arnold said, that have something to say. You should have something to say, but we have to say say it very clearly. That is the only secret of style. Okay. So you should have something. Without having something, nothing, we cannot say anything. So you should have something that has to be very clearly said. To be said. Okay, something like that. So how can you improve your writing of scientific journal paper? Of course, the style is a layered concept, and you have to learn to improve your style. It means that you have to master in word and grammar, clear, accurate sentences, paragraphs, and communicate complex thoughts. Well, finally, an organized whole that contributes to the accumulated knowledge of the science. Okay, so we can develop the paper that we can check with any English language people. The English process, something like that. We can, with the help of them, we can able to correct it. But you have to do it. Many people are not doing it. Simply they are uploading the paper. That definitely will get rejected. You have to be very conscious. And of course, the reference and all, you have to cite it according to the journals, and you have to list out some paper in alphabetical. In journals, you have to list out 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay. So the last one, I tell you that this is your own work, and therefore should not directly lift words from other source. In the reference, many people doesn't know how to write a reference. Just they will copy what is there in the others paper, the abstract whatever. They will paste it on his paper. So definitely you will be getting trouble when you check plagiarisms. So others one we cannot, but we have to rewrite it. Okay. So therefore we need to have command language and writing skills, isn't it? Of course, yes. So this will require your command of language and writing skills, such as summarizing it, paraphrasing, and writing indirect speech. Paraphrasing nothing but non-plagiarisms. Okay. That is called paraphrasing. Summarizing, indirect speeches. Okay, it was said by so and so, like that. It has been said. They have made it, something like that. Okay. Okay. Central, I have told you, but some insights are there with this important from my point of view. What an editor looks for papers. The paper must match your scope of the journals. Okay. The quality of the paper must be sufficiently high. It must present novel results. Novels means something like new technology, new tools, something like that. You have to use the novelty. You have to show, and the result must be significant enough to read worth. So all must be there. Scope. The easiest way for a manuscript to be rejected is to submit to the wrong journal. So a good manuscript will be rejected if the topic of the manuscript does not match the scope of the journal. So journal selection is very, very important. The quality of the paper, there are two things are there. The quality of the work being reported and the quality of the reporting. Reporting means written manuscript. How we are presenting our paper. See, some people you can see, they may know the concept, they may be more knowledgeable one person, but they may not able to express their views. That is the problem. But both are required. The quality of the work being reported and the quality of the reporting. Okay. Novelty. It must contain new to be worth publication. Should have new theory, new designs, new models, new methods, new data, or new analysis. There are so many things are nowadays available. New tools are there. Okay, MCDM tools normally you say, and many ML tools are there. Machine learning tools are there to analyze your data. Okay, that's there you can say the novelty, and publish a paper that has little and no impact on our scientific community does not serve the interest of science. So we have to, our papers should signify the need to the society, to the people. Okay, so application orientation must be there. Okay, whatever you do the work, that should be applied somewhere. Okay, isn't it? That like that we can show our significance of our work. Okay. Editors reviewers take two-step approach. The one is how important is the problem is being addressed by the work. Okay. How big of advance over the prior literature does this present work? Okay. So these two questions you can ask yourself. Okay. That's what scope, quality, novelty, and significance. And other than that, cover link letter also very, very important. The covering letter, some people, they will not give importance. When you submit the paper, the manuscript first goes to the editor. The editor will read the manuscript. Okay. That covering letter will give best impression, should give best impression about your manuscript. Okay. That also you have to concentrate more on that. Okay. The writing, the English, that you have to be very careful. Of course, journal abstract indexing, there are so many indexings are there. In that, mainly we focus on Scopus, Web of Science, Science Citation expanded. And plagiarism should not be there. There are so many plagiarism tools are available. And in that, plagiarism authenticate is the best one rather than other tools. And papers can be published in Conference, Scopus, Web of Science, SCA, ESS, etc., etc. If you take Scopus, Web of Science, SCA, the Scopus, Web of Science will have site score, and Scopus, Web of Science, SCA will have Q1, Q2, Q3 analysis, Q1, Q2, Q3. So of course you know what is called Q1. Normally you should try to publish a paper in Q1. Okay, rather instead of publishing 10 papers in Q3, if you publish one paper in Q1, that is equivalent. Okay, so you have to concentrate more on Q1. Q1 means nothing but the impactful of 20% of journal or paper. First top priority, 25%. Q2 means 25 to 50. Q3 means 50 to 75, like that. Okay, if you take 100, if you are in a best 1 to 25, you are Q1. If we are in a 25 to 50, that is Q2, like that. They are categorized the quality of the journal. Okay, so you should always need to publish in Q1 journals. There are so many things are there. Even author has I10 index, H index. So many things are there. Okay, last slide. And when you want to publish a paper in Scopus, you have to be very careful. Of course, go and verify the Scopus website. The link is there. You check it, and in that Scopus link, they will give many papers, journal papers, and from there you can go to their home page. Then only you can find out because there are so many culprits are there. In the Scopus papers, there are many people are there. You have to find out the correct journals, Scopus journal. That's what I want to tell you. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Sorry the interruption which has happened during my presentations. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Participants, you can ask your questions if you have. Participants, is there anyone who want to ask a question? Please make it fast. Is there anyone? If not, we'll proceed with the vote of thanks. We'll end the session with the vote of thanks. Is there anyone who want to ask a question? I hope there is no questions. Okay, we'll just proceed with the vote of thanks. Thank you, sir. It is time to end the session with a vote of thanks. So I invite Mrs. I. Praveena to do the honor of thanking everyone.
It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's session. To begin with, I thank Almighty for the blessings throughout the day.
My heartfelt thanks to our speaker, Dr. C. Erilarison, Professor and Head Department of Mechatronics Engineering, Chennai Institute of Technology, Chennai. You have enhanced our ideas, sir. It's my duty to thank our principal, Dr. R. Ruben, and our administrator, Dr. A. Malarjyoti, and my dear faculty fraternities and the committee members. I thank all the participants also for your sincere support. And my sincere thanks to the Department of Visual Communication and Mr. Harish for his technical support. So last but not least, I should thank my committee members for providing me to do the honor of thanking everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Let us take a group photo. I request everyone to turn your camera on. Fine. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
See you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Kindly fill your feedback form, which is available in the chat box. Please fill your feedback form, which is available in the chat box.